6 Republican governors from West Virginia, South Carolina, Ohio, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana have deployed over 1,100 National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., of course, at Trump's request. The move has sparked lawsuits and warnings about federal overreach and threats to civil liberties.
This is really chilling on so many levels. First of all, it's all based on a lie. Trump claims, rising, rampaging crime in Washington, D.C. Is that true?
Well, he's only allowed to do this under an emergency situation, so he has to
say
lie
that.
about
That's the lie.
A fake emergency.
We
right?
showed the graph on another show, right?
Right.
Sharply declining rates of crime. It doesn't mean that D.C. doesn't have a crime issue, but it means Trump lied about it. And if you want to deal with D.C. crime, as we've talked about before, there are ways of doing that are the right way of doing that. You meet with local officials. You meet with the police forces in D.C. You figure out where the hot spots of crime are, what you can do about it. You look at some of the root causes of crime. But to be sending National Guard troops and mobilizing them from politically compatible states is truly chilling. It shows the real motive. This is not going to in the long term solve any crime, but it does show that Trump is willing to use the military to rely on states that support him to clamp down on whoever he chooses to clamp down on, no matter how bogus and how fabricated the justification. Previous presidents have not used the military in this way. They've only used it in true emergencies like the 1992 Los Angeles riots, and then in coordination and cooperation with the local officials.
Now, did you hear this? That I'm looking at the Washington Post right now. On the front page are 2 D.C. stories. One is that Trump is touting progress of the operation, but there's no publicly available data. So without publicly available data, it's difficult to measure the progress.
Trump never loses, remember?
Right.
Everything he does is the greatest ever. He's still claiming he really won the 2020 election, that he lost by 7 million popular votes or so and 100 or so electoral college votes, and every single study has said it was one of the most secure and fair elections in history. He probably still thinks Barack Obama was born in Africa, not in the U.S., that everybody wanted Roe versus Wade to be overturned, that prices are drastically falling, whatever. The thing is, he just makes things up, whatever serves his interest. And, I think he claimed we've already given $350 billion worth of aid to Ukraine when it's less than half of that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he says.
Now, about that lying, it seems there's another article second in place on the front page of the Washington Post digital app that says the Justice Department is now investigating the D.C. police over alleged fake crime data. So the Justice Department is trying to make Trump's lies true now, it seems.
That's what they're doing with the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Well, it seems like, this is...
Same thing.
This is, The Justice Department is investigating whether Washington, D.C. police manipulated data to make crime rates appear lower.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Just what they're doing with economic statistics. And by the way, we also have FBI statistics. It's not just the local police that traces crime rates, by the way. So Trump politicizes everything. Now he's politicizing even the statistical information that we get from government, which has been the gold standard, throughout most of our history. Now it's going to be the lead standard. The alchemists wanted to transform lead into gold. Well, Trump is transforming gold into lead.
On Monday night, Trump tweeted this. D.C. gave fake crime numbers in order to create a false illusion of safety. This is a very bad and dangerous thing to do, and they are under serious investigation for doing so. Until 4 days ago, Washington, D.C. was the most unsafe city in the United States and perhaps the world. Now, in just a short period of time, it's perhaps the safest and getting better every single hour. That's from Trump on Monday.
All of that is lies. It was never the worst. It's not the safest. It is getting better.
No, D.C. He says it was the most unsafe city in the world.
Yeah, this is all.
Come on.
Yeah, all piles of nonsense.
But you think people actually believe that D.C. is the most unsafe city in the world?
Who knows?
That's crazy. I mean, okay. Our final topic before we move on to questions. According to a new survey from the Pew Research Center, Trump's approval rating is tumbling, raising questions about his political clout heading into the 26 midterms.
Yeah, the latest poll from a major polling outfit had him at 38%, a low point, lower than his even 41% average during his first term. 60% disapproval. We can do the math, right? 60 minus 38 is 22. 22 points underwater. That's just incredible, particularly for a president in, less than a year. Usually you get about a year of a honeymoon with much higher approval ratings. It's stunningly bad. And he's underwater on every single issue, including his signature issue of immigration, and deeply underwater on his handling of foreign affairs and the Ukraine war. The tragedy is it's all too late. Why couldn't the American people see this before they gave him a second term? It was all
still
out
don't get
there.
That either. That's something that I still haven't been able to wrap my mind around. Is like, I mean, we've said this 1,000 times.
Yes.
Trump is not subtle.
Nope.
He told us exactly what he was going to do. How did people not see this coming?
Beats me. I mean, it may take years, if ever, to figure this out.
So I'm looking at, this is an article from Statistica ranking the most dangerous cities in the world in 2025 by crime rate per 100,000 inhabitants. Now, there is one U.S. city on the list, actually.
East St. Louis or New Orleans?
Close. Memphis, Tennessee. Which is what? A red state.
Red state, a huge red state.
Right, but yeah, no blue cities on this list.
None.
A lot of South African cities.
Not surprised.
Caracas.
Mogadishu maybe too. Yeah, I don't know.
A city in Honduras, Brazil.
Yeah, but not Washington, D.C.
Not Washington, D.C. Not even in the top 10.
Not close.
And like we said, in fact, there's a red state city. I mean, I'm sure there's a blue mayor in Memphis, but still.
Probably, but still, the state has a lot to do with law enforcement, much more so than the federal government, by the way.
And I bet if you look at that state legislature, too, it's in Tennessee, it's almost all red.
Oh, yeah, it's overwhelmingly red. Yeah. It's a trifecta.
But in Trump world, crime only exists in blue states and blue cities. So
that's correct.